like any process with a lot of high-powered and high-intensity people, right? There are surprises and there's a lot of tough challenges to solve through. In our case, we wanted to make sure, I really wanted to make sure everybody who had contributed had a just and equitable reward from their contribution. And we had some skews in our cap table, in our equity allocations, and so on. The great news there is that with Mike's help and then with a number of good working discussions with some of the board members, we were able to frame the opportunity, the challenge. We were able to show how it compared to where the market was and where the gaps were and work through these, right? And I think in some ways we did things that were potentially not unprecedented, but certainly out of the ordinary, right? The level of equitability we were able to create at that moment in time um, was a big part of why actually we finally got through the deal and why everybody felt awesome about the deal. And in fact, the whole team has stayed forward and committed. So Mike played a big role in that, right? In all of those negotiations and all those things, he's working with our lawyers, very, very good lawyers, some board members who had built companies, done lots of exits. So I thought we had the right intellectual horsepower and the right attitudinal approach, the will to win, to get to a good outcome. And the board worked with us in a phenomenal way. They really took the long view. They understood the big picture. They weren't trying to just maximize, what the immediate returns were, but to kind of do the right thing. So it was just a very good feeling to get through all of that, right? That was one. The other was that the GN folks were very diligent in their work, and we went through just an amazing amount of diligence. And the good news with that, and I'll tell you one thing that stood out for me. Um, they asked a lot of questions. We answered them as truthfully and as completely as we could. And then they read all that stuff and they were prepared. And so we didn't end up repeating, the same thing over and over. That felt really good. That was actually from our side, okay, so these guys are, they're competent, they're serious, and they're not just throwing stuff at us, they're actually learning through the process, right? Those are a couple of the things that stand out.